The more you explain, the more energy you leak. Chosen one, do you feel it? That persistent weight, the endless questions, the quiet exhaustion from defending what heaven itself has already approved. Tonight, this is no coincidence. You did not stumble upon these words. These words were sent carefully, deliberately, by a hand you cannot see, yet one that has been guiding every tear, every trial, every silent struggle you thought no one noticed. For too long, you have carried the burden of proving your worth, of explaining your path, of justifying your pain to a world that could never understand the depth of your journey. And yet, here you are, still standing, still breathing, still believing even when faith seemed fragile. Chosen one, hear me. The battles you survived in the shadows were not in vain. Every moment of confusion, every night spent wrestling with your purpose, every door that closed only to leave you in waiting, was preparing you for this very hour. Look closely, feel deeply. The Spirit is moving in ways you have not yet seen. There is a divine rhythm in your waiting, a sacred timing that has orchestrated every encounter, every delay, every heartbreak. You were never meant to explain your journey to the world. You were meant to walk it, to rise in it, and to let heaven's approval speak louder than human opinion. The more you defend, the more you dilute the power of what is already yours. And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe, and comment, "I receive this," if your spirit is already responding, because this message is about to speak directly to you. Lean in, feel the weight lifting, sense the doors opening just beyond the shadows of doubt. Something sacred is unfolding. Something prophetic is aligning. Your time is coming. The chains of over-explaining, the whispers of misunderstanding, they are dissolving. And as this message lands in your heart, know this: heaven has spoken. Your life, your story, your divine purpose, it will no longer wait for permission. The revelation is near, the confirmation is certain, and the awakening you've longed for is about to ignite. Chosen one, do you feel it? The pull to justify, to explain, to defend yourself endlessly? It can feel almost necessary, like the world's approval is a currency you must earn. But hear this: your authority does not come from human validation. Your power, your influence, your destiny, it has been granted by a higher hand, orchestrated by a spirit that sees beyond the limitations of this earthly world. Every time you over-explain, every time you feel compelled to prove your choices, you are diluting the very authority that heaven has entrusted to you. Your words, though well-intentioned, risk tethering your spirit to opinions that were never meant to measure your worth. Imagine for a moment a trumpet shining in the hands of a master musician. Its sound is meant to pierce the sky, to declare victory and announce purpose. Now imagine covering it with cloth, muffling its power. Over-explaining is much like that cloth. It softens your message, it confuses your audience, and most importantly, it confuses your own spirit. Chosen one, you were not created to tiptoe through your calling, apologizing for your presence or your pace. You were created to move with intentional authority, to declare truth without hesitation, to allow your divine alignment to speak louder than any words of defense ever could. Ask yourself this: whose approval have you been seeking? And what would happen if you allowed the quiet of restraint to carry your message instead? There is an undeniable power in silence, in trusting that your path has already been approved by the one who sees every intention of your heart. The enemy thrives on your need to justify, on your desperation to explain, because it keeps you tied to fear, to doubt, to uncertainty. But the moment you release the urge to defend, the moment you step back and let your authority emerge naturally, the tide shifts. Your power becomes unassailable, anchored not in human opinion, but in heavenly decree. Chosen one, this is not a gentle suggestion. This is a call to spiritual awakening. The more you explain, the more you leak energy that belongs to your purpose. Every word spent defending what is already divinely confirmed is a moment stolen from your destiny. Begin today to walk lightly with your voice, to speak only when clarity is required, and to trust that the Spirit will communicate through you far more than your need to justify ever could. Let your authority rise, not through persuasion, but through alignment. Let your presence declare your calling louder than explanations ever will. Your season of influence is ready to unfold, but it demands that you step into the quiet power of restraint and trust the divine approval that already rests upon you. Chosen one, pause for a moment and ask yourself, who are you really trying to convince? When you find yourself offering explanations, defending your choices, or clarifying your intentions, whose heart are you speaking to? Too often we pour our energy into trying to reach ears that cannot hear, eyes that refuse to see, and hearts that are unprepared to receive. It is exhausting, isn't it? And yet it feels almost unavoidable because the human heart craves recognition, validation, and understanding. But hear me, beloved, your path was never designed to satisfy everyone. The clarity of your journey is for the spirit, for the alignment of your own soul, and for the sacred purpose that has been whispered into your destiny from the very beginning. Think about this. Now, how many times have you tried to explain yourself only to feel more misunderstood, more isolated, more drained? That is because explanations are often directed at those who are not ready to see your truth. They are not for the world. They are not for people who sit in judgment, who measure your worth by their own standards, or who project their insecurities onto your calling. Your explanations, your justifications, your efforts to make others understand, they are distractions from the divine work that has already been approved over your life. Chosen one, your energy is sacred, and it deserves to be reserved for obedience, for alignment, for the steps that heaven itself is asking you to take. Ask yourself this question: what would happen if you stopped trying to convince anyone but the Spirit? What if your clarity came from listening, from trusting, and from walking in your calling without seeking permission or validation? The release that follows is unlike anything else. Suddenly, your decisions are no longer weighed down by expectation. Your voice no longer trembles under the pressure of judgment. And the beauty of it is this: the world's understanding is optional, but your obedience is essential. When you step fully into your divine mandate, you will discover that your soul already knows what your mind has been desperately seeking. Chosen one, this is a pivotal awakening. The moment you recognize who your explanations are truly for, a shift occurs. You stop leaking your energy into empty spaces. You stop bending under the weight of human expectation. You begin to move freely in the authority and clarity that heaven has already placed within you. Your obedience becomes your power, your alignment becomes your voice, and your presence becomes a living testimony that needs no further justification. Let this truth sink in and resonate. You are not called to convince the world. You are called to be faithful to your calling, to walk your path with integrity, and to let heaven's approval echo louder than any human opinion ever could. Chosen one, listen carefully. There is a sacred line that separates clarity from permission seeking, and recognizing it is essential to walking fully in your divine purpose. Clarity is the light that illuminates your path. It is the steady flame of understanding that comes from alignment with heaven itself. Permission seeking, on the other hand, is the shadow that lingers when fear whispers lies into your ear, telling you that your choices, your calling, or your timing are only valid if someone else says they are. How many times have you paused, hesitated, or held back because you were waiting for someone else to give you approval, to validate your decisions, to confirm what God had already confirmed over your life? Chosen one, every second spent in that shadow delays the arrival of your destiny. Consider the contrast for a moment. Clarity does not demand applause. It does not require consent. It moves quietly, yet powerfully, guided by a hand that sees the beginning and the end of every step you take. Permission seeking, however, chains you to uncertainty. It forces you to bend and adjust, to explain and justify, to measure yourself against the ever-changing standards of others. One is light, one is shadow, one opens doors, while the other keeps you waiting in corridors of doubt and hesitation. Chosen one, ask yourself, are you walking in light or are you hiding in shadows? There is a profound liberation that occurs the moment you embrace clarity without seeking permission. Suddenly, your decisions become bold, deliberate, and free from external validation. You speak with intentionality because you are anchored in divine guidance, not the shifting opinions of the world. Your steps carry purpose because they are fueled by obedience to heaven, not by the need to be understood or approved. The spirit within you knows the difference, and it delights in guiding those who choose to walk in clarity. Every act of obedience, every word spoken in alignment, becomes a declaration of your authority, a language that no one can question and no fear can distort. Chosen one, imagine what it would feel like to move through life without needing anyone's nod of approval. What would it feel like to wake up and act boldly, fully confident that every step has already been sanctioned by heaven? This is not arrogance, nor is it pride. It is sacred trust. It is the understanding that your clarity, your light, your voice, and your path are enough because they come from a source that cannot be shaken, cannot be questioned, and cannot fail. Permission seeking may have kept you small, but clarity will allow you to rise into the fullness of your purpose. Today, this is your invitation. Step into clarity without fear. Speak your truth, move with intention, and let your obedience to heaven be your guide rather than the need for human approval. Every delay, every hesitation, every moment spent trying to earn consent has been a lesson in disguise, a preparation for the power you are about to unleash. Chosen one, you are learning to walk in light, not shadow. You are learning to trust the guidance that comes from above, rather than the expectations that come from the world. And when you do, something miraculous happens. Doors that were once closed begin to open, your voice begins to resonate, and your authority rises unshakably. Clarity illuminates. Permission-seeking delays. Today, choose light. Today, step boldly. Today, let your destiny move forward without waiting for anyone's approval. Chosen one, have you ever noticed how the world seems to demand explanations, justifications, and constant validation? How it pushes you to prove your worth, to clarify your choices, and to defend your every move? And yet, there is a sacred counterintuitive truth that few ever embrace. In stillness, in restraint, true power is amplified. Every time you withhold unnecessary explanation, every time you pause instead of rushing to defend yourself, you are stepping into a spiritual authority that cannot be measured by human standards. Silence, beloved, is not weakness. It is not passivity. It is a weapon crafted by heaven itself, and when wielded wisely, it confuses the enemy and protects what God has ordained over your life. Think about it. The enemy thrives on distraction, on chaos, on your need to over-explain, to justify, to bend. Every time you speak from fear or obligation, you give away a piece of your spiritual power. But when you choose restraint, when you allow silence to do its work, a remarkable shift occurs. The one who sought to manipulate your path can no longer predict your next move. The one who whispered doubt into your heart finds themselves powerless to sway you. Your energy becomes untouchable because it is no longer scattered in defense. It is focused entirely on obedience, alignment, and fulfillment of your divine calling. Chosen one, pause and reflect. What would happen if you trusted silence as much as you have trusted explanation? There is a mysterious beauty in this quiet power. Silence does not mean inaction, it means purpose. It communicates confidence without words, authority without confrontation, and alignment without apology. The spirit within you speaks more clearly in the space created by stillness than in the noise of constant justification. In these sacred pauses, heaven moves. Doors open unseen, protection surrounds your journey, and the enemy's strategies crumble silently before your faith. Every moment you resist the urge to explain unnecessarily, every time you choose restraint over reaction, you are actively participating in the fulfillment of God's plan for your life. Chosen one, ask yourself this: how many battles could you win if your words were not always spent on defending, convincing, or clarifying, but were instead preserved to declare destiny at the perfect divine moment? Silence is an unseen force, a spiritual shield, a strategy of heaven that elevates your authority. When the enemy watches you move without explanation, without apology, and without the need to justify your path, confusion spreads. They cannot manipulate you, they cannot control you, and they cannot diminish the anointing upon your life. Today, step into the sacred discipline of silence. Let it become your weapon, your shield, and your declaration. Trust that the power of restraint is far greater than the fleeting relief of over-explaining. The quiet you embrace is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is preparation, it is protection. And chosen one, as you walk this path, you will discover that heaven's purposes cannot be shaken, that your calling cannot be diminished, and that your authority rises strongest when it is unspoken but unmistakably felt. In silence, the enemy is disoriented, but in your alignment, your destiny is unstoppable. Chosen one, have you ever felt the weight of waiting? Waiting for someone to give you permission? Waiting for someone to validate your choices? Waiting as if the timing of your life depended on the nod of another? What if I told you that the very moment you step forward without seeking approval, a profound shift takes place? A liberation that touches every corner of your existence? There is a sacred freedom that is unlocked when you move in alignment with your calling, guided not by human consent, but by divine instruction. Doors that once seemed invisible begin to appear. Opportunities that were hidden behind layers of doubt and hesitation suddenly become illuminated. Favor flows in ways you could not have orchestrated, and the Spirit moves through you with an unhindered, unstoppable force. Ask yourself this: how many steps of destiny have been delayed because you waited for validation from those who could never truly see your purpose? Moving without approval is not an act of rebellion. It is not defiance or pride. It is the holy courage to obey the calling that heaven has placed upon you, fully, unapologetically, and divinely. In this movement, chosen one, something miraculous occurs. The weight of others' opinions falls away, and you begin to operate in the full measure of your God-given authority. You step into a flow where synchronicities align, doors swing open effortlessly, and blessings begin to manifest in ways that cannot be explained by human logic. Imagine the energy that is released when you no longer wait for consent. Your confidence rises, your focus sharpens, and your steps resonate with certainty. The hesitation that once plagued your heart is replaced by clarity. The fear that whispered doubts into your mind is silenced by the Spirit that has always been guiding you. When you move without approval, the universe itself conspires with your obedience, aligning people, circumstances, and divine opportunities that were always meant for your journey. Every footstep you take becomes prophetic. Every decision carries weight, and every act of faith strengthens your authority in ways that words alone could never achieve. Chosen one, what would happen if you truly embraced this liberation today? What doors would open? What chains would fall? What dreams long deferred would finally take flight? Moving without approval is not a reckless leap. It is a deliberate, Spirit-led step into destiny. It is a declaration that your calling is bigger than fear, that your purpose is brighter than doubt, and that your obedience is louder than any human hesitation. This is your invitation. Trust the guidance within, follow the promptings of heaven, and step boldly into the unknown with confidence that has been divinely instilled. When you act without waiting for the world's permission, you tap into a power that is unshakable. The favor of heaven rises to meet your courage. The Spirit flows freely through your life, and the world begins to witness the reality of what obedience to your calling can truly achieve. Chosen one, liberation awaits the one who steps forward without approval. And in that moment, everything shifts. You are free. You are aligned. You are unstoppable. Chosen one, the moment has come to take your next step. A step that is deceptively simple, yet profoundly transformative. Your next move is not about proving yourself, not about earning recognition, and not about convincing anyone of your worth. It is about trusting yourself and trusting the timing of heaven. Every delay, every trial, every season of waiting has been carefully orchestrated to prepare you for this precise moment. Now your faith, your intuition, and your alignment with the Spirit become the compass guiding your every step. There is power in quiet confidence, in knowing that what has been divinely secured cannot be shaken, questioned, or diminished. Ask yourself, beloved, how often have you allowed doubt to dictate your path, or hesitated because you feared human judgment. Today, that fear no longer has authority over you. The Spirit has equipped you to walk with intentionality, to speak with clarity, and to move with unwavering assurance. Your words are no longer tethered to the need for validation. Your actions are no longer weighed down by uncertainty. Each footstep you take in faith radiates a light that cannot be dimmed, a testimony that cannot be silenced, and a presence that cannot be ignored. Chosen one, your confidence is not arrogance, it is obedience. It is the embodiment of trust in the one who has ordained your path from the very beginning. There is a sacred rhythm to moving with confidence. It begins quietly within the heart, a soft knowing that guides you before the world even understands your steps. It grows as you release the need to defend what is already approved by heaven, allowing your actions, choices, and integrity to speak for themselves. In this place of trust, the universe aligns with your obedience. Doors that were hidden become visible, synchronicities fall into place, and opportunities that were once out of reach now unfold naturally. Confidence becomes a force, not just a feeling. It directs your movement, amplifies your influence, and magnifies your impact on those around you. Chosen one, pause for a moment and feel this truth. Your journey is yours to navigate. Each decision, each step of faith, and each act of courage becomes a beacon for others who are still searching, still doubting, still longing for guidance. Your confidence is contagious because it is rooted in divine certainty. Your courage inspires because it is born from obedience, and your presence matters because it is divinely appointed. Heaven has prepared you for this season, and the confidence you embrace now will carry you through the challenges ahead and into the fullness of your destiny. So, what is your next step? It is to move boldly, to speak intentionally, and to trust without hesitation that the path before you is already aligned with heaven. Your confidence is your compass, guiding you through uncertainty, illuminating your purpose, and opening the way for the blessings that have long been prepared for you. Chosen one, the season is yours. Step forward with courage, walk with assurance, speak with authority, and know that every act of faith you take now becomes a testimony, a light, and a powerful declaration that you are walking exactly where you were meant to be. Your destiny is unfolding, and your confidence will carry you there.